All right, I believe we are live. Welcome to Endless Entrepreneurs. This is episode number 2. My name is Luke Henson, and I am a full-time corporate finance analyst. If you're new to my channel, I sell on eBay part-time and grow my business. Oh, and there is a rookie mistake by me with an ad in the background. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. That's what happens when you're only on your 3rd live video and you do stuff like that. So. But in either case, I'm really excited. I've been excited for a while now to have Margaret on the channel. Margaret from Texas Gal Treasures. Said that right, I believe. Yeah. And we're going to have some nice back and forth and wait for people to come in before I have her give her intro, because I want people to make sure they catch it. But I appreciate anyone who's tuning in live. Looks like, ooh. Hi, Thread King. Wait for a couple more. We got 6 watching, 7. Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to shout them out, Margaret, as you see the ones you know, because I'm sure there'll be more here to watch you than to watch me.
I don't know about that. I dropped it in my group, so we'll see.
Good. All right. Well, let's get started so we don't waste any more time. But so why don't you introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about what your background is and what type of reselling you're into and all that. Go right ahead.
Awesome. My name is Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures, and I am a stay-at-home mom. And then I started reselling. So I started on Etsy and then branched out to eBay. Started selling on Amazon FBA and then merch by Amazon and just kind of any platform. I mean, I don't do a lot of clothes, so I sell a lot of vintage. And I've been branching more into jewelry lately, so that's a lot of fun to do. Yeah, so that's pretty much my spiel. I make YouTube videos too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just shout out some other people. And first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know how packed your weeks are and how much you have going on. You put out a ton of awesome content.
Oh, thanks. No problem.
And just for anyone joining too, and I will say it later, but I do have her YouTube channel. It's linked in the description. I highly recommend checking it out. I've been absorbing a lot of the content she puts out, and it's been very valuable to me, so I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Let's see who else has joined us here. Hi, Better Barbie. Thanks for coming. Eddie Willis. Highland Drake. And it looks like we are up to 14 watching live. Thank you all for stopping in. All right, well, I'm going to jump right into the questions because I'm pretty anxious to start finding out more about you. So the first one that I really like to know is how you got into reselling. To me, I think it's always interesting to hear each person's story on what motivated them to start reselling.
Sure. So it's sort of a two-pronged answer. About almost 5 years ago, my grandmother passed away, and she was a big collector. So after a lot of my family members kind of got everything they wanted, everything was just put in storage and left. And so I started slowly working through some of her, I still haven't in all these years, slowly listing some of her things. So it's gotten easier, but it's been tough, starting out. And then right around that same time, I started staying home. I taught for 14 years. So I started staying home with my boys at that point. And, if you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, a parent, the stress of being with a kid all day, or 2 kids, 2 boys. And so one weekend, I was just fried from being a mom, and my husband just said, hey, go to the coffee shop, go hit a garage sale, go do something, get out of the house. And I was not really even into garage sales that much at this point. And so I just started going to these garage sales, and I started picking things up thinking, I don't necessarily want this, but I know this will sell for some good money. And here I am paying $0.25 or $1 for it. So then it just sort of snowballed from there. Yeah.
Wow. Well, first of all, sorry to hear about your grandmother.
Oh, thanks.
It's pretty exciting though to hear about kind of the evolution of that. Not exciting about that part, but exciting that you've kind of evolved into your different phases of life and found ways for it to map in. I think it's cool to see each person's need and want and how they kind of step into it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let me, so anyone else has joined here. Hi, Giselle. Thanks for stopping in. All right. So next question with it is what do you currently sell primarily? So if you had to pick percentage wise, like your highest percentage type of thing that you sell, what is it that you sell the most of?
Oh boy.
I know it's evolved. I know it's evolved a lot. So
No, what allowed?
I said I know it's evolved a lot for you.
It has, yeah. And I'm changing tack right now as we speak. So I mean, I'm trying to think what has sold lately. I sell a lot of porcelain and glass stuff, but then lately I've been selling a lot more jewelry and vintage stuff like wrapping paper and wall hooks, just random things, mugs. Yeah, so
Wrapping paper. I have to ask about that. So
yeah,
tell me more about wrapping paper.
I sent some wrapping paper out today. Here, I'll grab some on my bin right here. Hang on, let me knock
I'm already learning. We're only a few minutes in.
Hang on.
No problem.
Of course, I got a big pile. Well, anyway, it's flat. It's flat wrapping paper. I have a big pile of Lego books on top of it. So
that's fine. No worries.
But it's like the vintage, like it used to come, like in this square, wrapped in cellophane or whatever. So,
yeah.
And you can pick that stuff up for 25 cents a quarter, and the one I sold today was $15. So yeah. So.
How do you ship that to make sure it doesn't like bend or wrinkle or anything like that?
I have some pieces of cardboard cut, and then I just slip it into a poly mailer.
Oh, that's awesome. So sends real cheap, and it's real cheap to get into. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you could define a niche, with all that being said, do you feel like you have a niche, or do you feel like you have multiple niches then?
I would say multiple, but I mean probably more leaning towards the vintage items.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, which still covers a lot.
yeah, that's fine. And for all the people watching, so would you recommend multiple niches? I mean, do you feel like it's a good fit for you, obviously, but do you feel like for other people that's a good recommendation?
Oh yeah, because then you get your finger in more pies and things, and then I mean that's one of the fun things about it is you like I'm doing now. I can just change. Like I was really heavy into games and puzzles for a while, and like I'm bored with that, so now I can focus on other things. There's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, I totally agree, and
yeah,
I feel like as far as sourcing goes, it's like the more you know, the more opportunity you have to source, and you don't bottleneck yourself. So I totally agree.
Absolutely.
So let's naturally, what platforms do you sell all of these different things on? What are your different ventures you have?
So I do Etsy and eBay. Those are my big ones. I'm actually pulling out of Amazon FBA for now because the storage fees they've changed the way they started doing that. And then I sell on a local like garage sale site, like it's called Garage Sale, but I can limit it to it's called a mommy market, so I'm only dealing with women locally. So anyway.
That's cool. Awesome. I have to ask with the Amazon FBA. So when you pull that, the storage fees, obviously, but when you were doing it, since you are more of like you were a vintage seller, you still are, you're kind of into like these different little nichey things and you have fun with it. Was Amazon not as fun for you?
No. And that's the thing, like I didn't go do RA at the stores.
Right.
So I would just if I was at a garage sale or a thrift store, if I found stuff like VHS tapes or media, things like that, like cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Then I would, scan it, or games, puzzles. I even send in some plush, things like that. So
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've tried Amazon FBA twice, and for me it was like it became so numbers oriented where it was just scanning, and it wasn't as much fun for me. I think I sell a lot of clothing, and for me it's like there's so much brand knowledge and different uncommon knowledge you need to do it that it just was more fun and more of a challenge. And every time I scanned it, just was too much of a numbers thing for me. It's like I would burn out after a month or so even trying it. So
yeah, I agree.
Gotcha. So do you sell full-time or part-time?
Well, I would say I sell part-time because I do a lot of other things because I stay home with my kids, and so
that's a full-time job in itself. So
yeah, I mean, even though they go to school, I volunteer at their school, and then one day a week I'm with my mom. And I don't know, for a while there, she'd had some strokes last year, so she's better now. I know, right? But it's fortunate that this is what I do, so I can be really flexible with selling and being able to drive her where she needs to go. I mean, she's fine now; she can drive it and everything. Woohoo! So, yeah.
So it's not. I mean, it sounds like this fits your lifestyle perfect. I mean, everything just even listen to like reselling is the absolute best fit for you, isn't it?
Yeah, because then I can just take, if I have pictures on my phone, I can do that at swim practice or I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. All right. Well, those are just kind of my basic questions, and I I have to say, like, watching your content on your channel is very motivating for me. Watching the different levels of mastery you have across multiple platforms is pretty impressive to me. I've
Really?
taken multiple years just to feel like I even am like moderately like have expertise in eBay, and then I look at the different things and I've been watching a lot of your content. It's just so props to you for sure.
Oh, thanks.
So let's jump in the comments here. I feel like I've been neglecting them and not really paying attention. Let's see. Looks like we got a lot more people here. We've got 27 watching. Awesome. I've only done a couple live videos, but that is by far the most I've ever had. So
Oh, really? Oh,
credit to you. Parrothead Picker said pull out of Amazon FBA as well. Stuff sells so fast, but it's just no fun. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page with that here. I don't knock Amazon FBA. I think it's an amazing opportunity. It's definitely scalable, and it's tons of people are crushing it. It's just not enticing for me. Yeah, definitely go, Fernando. Check out her YouTube channel. There's a lot of really awesome stuff there for you.
can I comment to Better Barbie real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, feel free.
She says she'd like to try Etsy because she's pulled way back. Well, right now Etsy has a promo, and I'll have to give you the promo link, but I have it in some of my videos where if you click on the promo link, you can get 40 free listings. So it's like totally free to try. So,
well,
yeah.
While we're on that topic, because I mean Etsy's a whole new thing to me. So can you kind of describe for me and anyone else watching kind of what the basic structure is, like comparatively to an eBay or something like that? Like what are the different nuances and fees and types of things like that to expect?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I was trying to find I did a video just recently, like 10 things you need to know if you're going to sell on Etsy, because most people think it's like crafts. And so I do this little segment where I'm like, got a coaster. I'm like, look at the crafts I made. Anyway, it's not just crafts. So, sorry. So on Etsy, and I'm not paid by them, I swear. So on Etsy, it is handmade stuff, but also anything that's vintage, which is anything that's 1998 or before, which is sad. And then anything that's a supply. So, I mean, that can be anything from like Scrabble tiles to pine cones. I mean, anything that somebody would use to make something else, like scrap paper or scrapbooks or anything, you know?
Any type of commodity. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So.
That's awesome. Okay. And well, thank you, Better Barbie. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, show some love here for Margaret, and definitely smash that like button because it's awesome that she's taking the time out of her schedule to be here. So fee structure for Etsy, that's my other question. So as far like for eBay, in my head, it's like I do fixed price listings, so it's 10 cents to put an item up. I pay the fees when it sells. Like, how similar is Etsy to that model?
Okay, so Etsy, one, I love it. Let's just say that there's no like store level. So on Etsy, you just have a store. There's no paying every month for the store or whatever. It just is. You pay 20 cents to put up a listing, and that listing stays up for 4 months. So it's like a nickel a month, basically. Well, pretty good. And awesome. Then when the item sells, the fee is about 3.25% or less than 3.5%, about 3.25% final sale. So it's really good. You get a lot more of your income. Jeez. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And does it PayPal only pretty much on there, or do they use all, like, what's their payment process?
They use all, yeah. They have PayPal, but then there's also direct checkout. And then if they pay PayPal, then it goes to your PayPal account. If it's direct checkout, then they hold your money. You can request to have it sent over, and it takes 2 days, or you can wait and they disperse every 2 weeks to your bank account.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my golden retriever decided to take a trip up here and bring me his toy. Awesome. Will I throw it? He will be obnoxious. And
I'm teaching my cat to play fetch. One of my cats, anyway.
All right. Well, very cool, because I've been a little curious about Etsy. I mean, it seems like a really good cross-functional platform to look into. I've really been spinning my brain lately because I pretty much only do eBay. It is all I do is eBay, and I only do clothing. And so I've been trying to broaden my horizons a little bit as I keep growing into other things that I don't look into. So thank you for that.
Yeah. And I don't do clothing at all, so.
Yeah.
I think I have like 2 pieces of clothing, maybe.
Good contrast then.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's jump into some detailed questions here, and then we'll jump back to the chat. And guys, we'll do a Q&A at the end for sure, and we'll try to monitor your questions. So if we don't catch them right now, just save them for the end, and we'll definitely hit as many as we can. But my first thing really is that you've been selling for 4 years. What type of size have you grown to? And you can share as much or as little as you're comfortable would. Like, you don't have to get into too detailed numbers, but I mean, like, percentage-wise each year, how much have you grown, especially if you've gone on these other platforms? Do you feel like you've had, some pretty big growth, or?
Well, I think it kind of evens out a little bit because when I first started, I was really very motivated, taking pictures and listing really consistently. And then as things have morphed, when I started making more income from Amazon for a while there, I didn't do quite as much because it kind of leveled out. And then now that I'm doing merch by Amazon, not that I'm neglecting my listings and things, but it's giving me that flexibility to, revamp the way I'm doing things so I can take a step back. So, I mean, it's probably about the same. So I could say probably about a month. Let's see. I mean, at this point, I'm making about what I was making as a teacher. So,
That's impressive.
which is sad. Some months are better than others. So, between, I'm trying to think. I don't know,
You don't have to be
$500
exact.
a week or so. I mean, so it's a little less than when I was teaching, but about, $500 a week.
Well, I mean, you're so full-time mom, doing this, flexibility to do all the other things you're doing, volunteering, and you're still doing that. So that's impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, and then my next curiosity is between all your platforms, what percentage of your business is most heavily weighted? Like, what platform does the most for you, I guess?
Financially or time-wise?
Just volume-wise, I guess. What
Volume-wise.
For you?
Well, I guess eBay, most of the time eBay does more than Etsy, but during the fourth quarter, Etsy sometimes overtakes it just from people looking for unique gifts. So they tend to think to go to Etsy more than.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. And so do you, kind of bridging this, do you operate out of your home then? I'm assuming you operate out of your home solely?
Yes. Yeah. I have a storage locker where, a lot of my grandmother's stuff still is. But yeah, we're in my workroom now.
Yeah, very cool. I do the same thing. I operate out of my home, so I understand. I do have the storage unit. It does help keep me a little sane to have most of my inventory over there. But
Nice.
I hear you. So with that, how do you do your inventory? So with multiple platforms, and I assume are you cross-selling eBay, Etsy?
Yes.
Yes. So how do you keep your inventory straight? This is something that I always am curious to hear. What every person has their own thing that works for them, and so I'm just always curious to hear what it is that works for you.
Sure. And this is part of what I'm revamping. But this closet that's right over here is where I keep most of my listed things. And then I have a few tubs, like a plush tub and a hats tub and stuff like that. And then over there, I have bins of jewelry. I would show you, but I'm in the process of cleaning my workroom.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's embarrassing.
No, I understand. I just transitioned jobs recently, and I had a full week off. And so I actually forced myself to completely gut and clean like my prep area, my storage area. And it's like having it clean, I'm just like, this is weird. Like, I'm not used to being like in a clean area like this. This
Yes. I did a video to kind of like make myself accountable and to show everybody this is what I'm working with. And then Jeff challenged me to like by the end of the month, because he's going to do his too. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do this.
You're halfway there, so.
Yeah, well, my kids, I've had sick kids for the last 3 days. I got nothing done. So
bad timing.
Yeah, it's life, right?
Yeah, that sure is. Very cool. So then, I guess describe for me. I know it probably changes week to week, but what is a basic week for you with selling on these multiple platforms, juggling family life, everything else? What does a week look like for you?
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Ready.
So Sunday is usually pretty much off. I mean, I upload my 2 listings for merch, and I do a goals video on Monday. I mean on Sunday. Monday, I'm going to do YouTube stuff too. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's a big part of what you do. Absolutely.
So, and then Monday I do a sales update video usually, and I take my sales for the week and talk about them. And then it just depends, if I'm going to list that day or if I'm going to organize. It's real flexible, I guess. Depends on what I feel like. Tuesday, yeah, same thing as Monday, basically. Wednesday, I focus on merch. I do a merch talk video with some guys. Yeah. And then Thursday, I'm with my mom. Friday, I'm up at the school. Saturday, I do sourcing. And I kind of go out sourcing a little bit here and there during the week. So,
Gotcha. Very cool. And how many hours do you think you spend on each platform? Like if you had to estimate.
Gosh, lately not very many because I haven't been listing very much lately. But I would say when I'm really on it, I do about 4 hours a day, photographing and listing when I'm doing well, about 4 hours a day doing that. And then usually YouTube takes about an hour or so of my time. So
Oh, that's cool.
That's about it. Awesome. About 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours, but not usually.
That's still a significant amount of time to be spending every single day on top of the other stuff you're doing. So very cool.
It's in chunks though, so
yeah. All right, I'm gonna jump over to the chat real quick and just see if anyone's been saying anything. Oh, we got a bunch more people watching. We are at 26 right now. Hi Diane, thanks for stopping in. Hi Gina. Who else do we have here? Hi Little Treasures Boutique. Heather Lee, just trying to shout some old Brad Skeletons in the chat. We got Tyrone's. I'm sorry if I butchered your name real bad, but thank you for stopping in. I'll jump back to questions, but I really appreciate all you guys stopping in for this is awesome having Margaret here. All right, so I'm gonna keep grilling you if that's okay.
Yeah.
I have lots of my own questions. That's why I have have the general ones, but I have my own that have popped up. So what happens? And I have heard you talk a little about this, but what happens when something sells on Etsy? How do you handle it on eBay? Do you have like a process in your head that you deal with, to take them down? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, so I have the apps on my phone for Etsy and for eBay, and so they both make the cha-ching sound. And so when one site goes cha-ching, then I just automatically pick up my phone and take it down off the other site, and then that's it. So, and I think maybe one time I've missed it and it's sold on both platforms, but I get that question, like, what are you gonna do? Like, never, it basically almost never happens. So,
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be very likely that it would literally instantaneously sell the 2 by. It's just not.
Unless somebody's like, yes, I found 2 of them. I need this for the party.
yeah, not very probable.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it makes me feel like I'm missing huge opportunity by not selling on multiple platforms. Just like that, just with like items, because it's like you're hitting double the audience just by doing that. You're literally hitting double the buying pool.
Absolutely.
Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. All right, so you already talked about inventory. We talked about listing a bit. How many items do you think on average you sell per month? So with that type of output, and the reason I ask this is because I like for viewers to kind of get a gauge of input to output type stuff.
Pardon me. Well, at the moment when I'm not listing, sorry, it's really low right now. So I would say, oh gosh, how many did I sell last week? I mean, it sounds really low when I say it. I would say about 10 items or so a week, which is really low. But some of them are high ticket items. So I still meet because I try to sell about between 200 and 250 a week on eBay and Etsy. Mm-hmm. When it's more, it's awesome. When I'm really like listing and doing a great job, it's always more. But still, I've still been hitting that between 200 and 250 a week. It doesn't sound like a lot for people that are full-time resellers. Like, oh, that's not a lot. But then if you think, I've got money coming in from merch, got money coming in from other like things, so it all works out.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't shortchange yourself here. I mean, everyone has what works for them, right? Like everyone has their own definition of what's successful to them. I mean, not everyone's out to make hundreds of thousands of dollars with a business. It's just,
exactly.
It's what fits your lifestyle, and it sounds like you're doing it very successfully with all the different things you're balancing. So
this is true. I throw that out there because I know a lot of people are trying to make it full time and trying to do full time. So when I talk about what I do, I don't want to ever have anybody misconstrue what I'm saying. Like, what is successful? I'm successful, yes. Yeah. But then if someone's trying to make a full-time income, they're like, wait a minute, this chick's full of crap,
I understand, but I don't feel like you're not. You're being very transparent about it, which I appreciate. And I mean, a big part of the stuff I put on my channel is like I work full time. Like I build my business and I work full time. I don't know that I ever want to resell full time. I'm gonna track the progress and see where it goes, but it's like I have my own goals and you have your own goals, and
Yeah.
it's possible. Like a lot of people are just a part-time seller and that's all they want to do. And I think that it's good to contextualize and kind of show what that can look like if you want and what volume it is. I think that's why I ask the most, right? Is that people want to know what are the hours to get X. And if I have 20 extra hours in my week, I can do this. Or if I have 20, and so I think it's really cool that you're willing to share that and be transparent.
Yeah. And then like last year, we took my income and we took a big road. We flew to Spokane and we took a big road trip driving down from Washington into California. And so the money that I made was what paid for our trip, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. How was that trip? That had to be awesome.
That was really cool. We needed more time. We took it was almost 2 weeks. So, we had family, like my aunt and uncle are in Spokane, and then we drove to Portland to see his brother, and then we drove into California to see his family, and we saw parts of the country we never would have seen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Really neat places to visit for sure.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice. All right. So then I guess that kind of bridges nice. So with, looking down the, well, actually, let's talk about merch first, because this is what I'm the most curious about. And I'm just going to I'm throwing a lot of questions because I've been trying to learn a little more about more of like the print on demand type things. So merch can you tell us just kind of how you started, where it's gotten to, where you were with it, and just kind of give me the whole story.
Sure. So merch by Amazon came out, I guess, last year or the year before, like close to, fourth quarter time. And some people started talking about it, Chris Green and Glenn Zubia. And I saw Glenn, and he was really, pushing it and pumping it up, talking about it a lot. And I was just like, yeah, okay. So I signed up, had to wait. Wait, am I answering the question? I feel like I went off.
Yeah, no, you're exactly. I just wanted to hear the story. So
okay. So then I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and sign up. So I didn't get in when they were automatically letting people in, but shortly after I did. And I just uploaded a couple things, just whatever. And then one day I had this like $6 in January payout. So I got pretty excited and slowly started uploading some more shirts. And, for a couple months, it was like $25, $50. And then I started watching, Glenn's videos and some of Mike, the Treasure Gnome's videos, and what in the different groups talking about the money that they were making. I was like, holy smokes, these guys are making thousands of dollars a month. I need to like really focus my attention more onto this. So when I really got serious about it and started learning a little bit more and doing a little bit more, I saw my numbers start going up, to where last month, December was amazing. I'll just put that out there. I wish I could have December every month, but it's gotten to be really good where it's about, January was over $600 and this month is looking like it's going to be over $600. Wow. So it makes it a little easier to not list on other platforms.
Yeah. That's crazy. So, and for viewers watching that might not know what it is, merch for Amazon, basically you're correct me here as I go, but you're loading a graphic for a t-shirt and Amazon markets it for you basically, right? You put the description, everything. It goes into their database for Amazon buyers to see. And then when the shirt sells, they print on it. They take care of distribution of it to the customer. And then you get a royalty on it. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's it. You don't do anything.
Right. So it's like it's got the best of both worlds of Amazon, except you don't actually have to send product in. You're just uploading a digital file. So you never are really handling anything. You're just designing it, and then it's out there forever, right? And
yes, and that's. I did a video on it. I tease because I do a video on everything, but I did a video on it where it's like, it sounds too good to be true, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
There's no upfront cost to you at all. And Bitter Barbie says, do you need an art background? No, I don't. I don't have an art background or anything.
Yeah, that's why I've been intimidated by it because I'm not very artistic, but the more like I've watched a lot of your content, and I encourage you guys who have questions. She does have some really good content. I mean, I've just started to educate myself, and her channel is the first place I went. It's just, you don't really need that art background. That's the thing I've been starting to learn. It's like you need to recognize trends in the marketplace. I mean, that's really recognize trends that are on your Facebook every day. Recognize trends that people are talking about. I mean, that's what it seems to me, and
that's part of it. Yeah. And then also another thing that intimidated me was, I listened to Merch Minds. I got to throw my Merch Minds podcast out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Plug away.
I love them, but they have a podcast, and they both do have design backgrounds. and they are really, and a lot of people say, you know, oh, you got to use Adobe Illustrator. Well, my husband is a designer, so he was trying to show me, and I mean, it was like an hour. He was trying to teach me how to draw a heart, you know, and I was like, I can't do this. You know, I've been doing it my way. I'm doing fine. You know, so I found a program that I can use that's really user friendly. I don't have to know all of the stuff, but, you know, and then go with it, you know. And I don't follow too many trends either. I look for like unusual areas that are underserved.
Right. Yeah, the weird niches, right? I mean,
Yeah. And then it's like, I may only sell 1 or 2 of those shirts a month, but spread out over, you know, I have 200 and something shirts up right now. Well, 2 or 3 of this shirt, 2 or 3 of that shirt, 1 of this shirt, 1 of that shirt. And it all adds up, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you're not packaging the item, shipping the item when it sells, dealing with returns, customer service, dealing with storing the item. I mean, you have all those options.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, right. Thank you for filling me and educating me just as well as anyone watching. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So short-term goals, and when I say short-term, like next 6 months, like, so where do you see you putting a lot of your focus between your businesses? Like, what are you going to be focusing most heavily on, do you think?
Okay, so short-term goals. All right, so my room is clean by then.
Yes, room's clean as soon.
And it's ready. And then, yeah, I'll be focusing more on selling more of the, you know, I sold a whole bunch of board games and puzzles and stuff to a local guy. So just clearing all that stuff out and focusing more on the easy to ship, easy to list, easy to take pictures of. I've been doing a lot of jewelry, and like I showed you, I was telling you, the wrapping paper, more of that kind of stuff. I feel more comfortable doing that because I don't have to worry about having so many different things to make the money now. I think the merch has helped,
So yes,
supplement that. So I still enjoy. I know some people poo-poo selling mugs, but every time I buy mugs, I'm like, why am I buying this mug? But then I'll buy a mug for $25 and it sells for 20. Like I sold a mug for $25 today. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. You know, I'll do that all day. So. Yeah.
So on the topic of mugs, so when I first started selling, I was trying to sell mugs, and I was not very experienced at packaging, and so I ended up abandoning them. And then I later found a bunch of good videos on how you can package them more efficiently. But can you describe this for people who might be interested in selling mugs, how you package them and ship them?
Sure. So I have these 6x4x4 boxes. You can get them if you have an eBay store, and you know they have the coupon that you use once a quarter, or you can order them, whatever. So I use that, you know, and I put a half a sheet of tissue paper, roll it in 2 rolls of 2 pieces of bubble wrap, and then usually that will end up going into a first-class bubble mailer, and then off it goes. I know Jason does the FOMO method, but it drives me nuts. But you know, whatever works for you, you know.
Cool. So then long-term goals. So passes the next 6 months, you know, a couple of years down the road, how do you see this evolving with your lifestyle? Because it seems like it's very dependent on wherever your life is, right? So
yeah,
where do you see it going as your kids get older and your family's evolving, things like that? Like, where do you want it to go?
World domination. No. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do more on merch. I can't wait to see where it goes. So that, you know, is because the financial aspect of that is so great, and the ease of it is so great. I really want to focus more on that. And then probably just getting way more into, because I'm enjoying selling jewelry a lot. And the more I'm looking at jewelry and the more I'm going out finding jewelry, the more I'm finding good stuff for me. And so I'm really enjoying that a lot, you know, and I mean, that's like the thrill, like the treasure hunt that got me into it, like finding that piece of gold, finding that piece of jewelry that I can take, you know, I bought a white gold cross with diamonds in it, you know, and I bought it for $8 at a garage sale, and it was damaged. There was a stone missing and it was kind of smooshed, but I took it to the gold guy and got, you know, $80 like that, or $70, whatever it was. Just like flipping stuff like that real fast. Hey, Lonnie. Sorry. Hey, Turtle.
No, you're good. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my plug. I knocked
yeah, you're fine. I'll bounce back over the chat here.
So yeah, things that I can find, you know, like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well that makes sense. Sorry, my dog keeps running into my table because he wants attention apparently. Only when I'm filming videos. He has nothing to do with me when I'm not actually doing the video. But as soon as a live, especially a live video starts, he comes up and just annoys the crap out of me. So it's fun. So where do you do your sourcing? So that was my other big curious question is, so you have all these different things that you sell and buy, or you buy and sell. Where is your main sourcing avenues? Like, where do you frequent? How do you do that?
So my all-time love is garage sales because of the thrill of the hunt, looking for that buried treasure, And then second is there's a couple local charity shops. I like the smaller, like church run type shops more than the Goodwill type thing. But then also then after that it would be Goodwill and Salvation Army because I can get my jewelry jars there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So around here it's weird because our Salvation, when I was in New York, Salvation Armies were better than Goodwills a lot of times. So I was in like upstate New York. Down here in Charlotte, the Goodwills are like the only place I'll shop. I mean, the Salvation Armies are really hard to navigate. Like they do have sale days, but everything is fixed price around here. Where you guys are, do they mark up brands and things they know, or is it all pretty much fixed price for the category item it is?
They do. I mean, depending on where it is, where you go, but for sure. And the prices have gone up. So, yeah.
Do you feel like you're in an area that's plentiful for stores, and you have a wide variety there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's a lot of Goodwills around. There's a lot of local charity shops. Generally, we get a lot of garage sales. So,
well, I get a lot of questions about like what to sell, how to sell. All those. I'm sure you get them all the time. And it's just it depends. I think so much on where you live, like where your geography is, what you have available to you. Like those type of things matter. And if you're not paying attention to the cost of what you're acquiring to sell, it's like you can really find yourself in an unprofitable situation.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's me. Like when I was doing clothing in New York, I think I got discouraged a lot because they were marking up everything. Like it was like, oh, it's Brooks Brothers, so it's double the price of a normal dress shirt. And it was like, gosh, and that's the lowest end brand I sell. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I come down to Charlotte here and everything is the same price. Shirts are just $4. It doesn't matter. Like pants are just $5. And so I think where you live makes a huge difference on what you choose to sell. So
yeah, and it depends on which. I mean, some stores mark up and some are just uniform. But for sure.
Okay. Let's jump over here. See what people say. Oh, hi Garage Flips. Thanks for stopping in. Hi Antonio. Hi Turtle Trader. I appreciate it. We got 28 live, so that's good. We're at my highest I've ever had, and it's blowing it away. So.
Oh yeah. I wish I could have brought you more.
No, this is great. I mean, I have a golden retriever. I wish I could show him to you right now, but he's just.
What's your your dog?
Yeah, so I have a goal actually. I think see if we can find him here. Now he's gonna hide, of course.
What's his name?
Stick with the camera. Hi Thor. Say hi, buddy.
Oh, hey Thor. How are you?
So he's about a year and a half old. So he has so much puppy in him that he just gets those random spurts of energy where he doesn't want you to pay attention to him. So.
Oh yeah. Aw.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about advice for new sellers, and then we'll open it up to Q&A just for anyone watching. What type of advice would you give people who are just looking to start reselling? Because I feel like there's a lot of people right now that are looking for ways to make extra money, aren't sure what avenue to go down. And I think that your advice would be great because you do sell on so many different platforms. I think that you could give some really good advice.
Oh, sure. I would say, one, start with stuff and you're comfortable with, and you don't have to follow every trend you see. Trust me, I've done it. I started watching Steve Rakin and decided I needed to sell men's suits, and suddenly realized I had all these men's suits and I hate selling men's suits. So go with what starting with what and then just slowly try new things. Don't jump into suits balls to the wall. You know what I mean? Just take it slow and try out new things and learn along the way. There's tons of groups out there that can help, lots of YouTube videos, and
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic advice. I think the one theme, and I've talked to a lot of resellers who've been doing it for a while, we kind of touched on it a little bit. It's like, I feel like if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're not going to stick with it. Like, it's just when you have to list or you need to go source, or if you're not doing things you like, you're just going to find reasons not to do them. And eventually and usually what happens is, oh, I tried that, it doesn't work. And it's like, well, no, it does work. You just were selling the wrong thing, or you were trying the wrong thing. It wasn't what motivated you. And so, yeah, I think that's really great advice.
I hated dressing a mannequin. Oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? I don't iron for me. Why am I ironing this?
Yeah, and I'm the polar opposite. So I love clothes because it's the same process over and over. So I like the uniformity of the prepping. All the unique different items like you do, I can't handle it because my brain can't process quick enough to adjust to all the different things.
Yeah,
so, yeah. It's funny how that works. Each person's is definitely designed differently when it comes to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's look in the chat here and see whatever questions you guys have. Well, any questions, go ahead and hit the chat with them. I'm going to scroll back up and see ones we've missed. Well, okay, so merch on Amazon, I'm talking about design software up here. I see a couple questions about. So what do you mind sharing what design software you do use?
Sure, absolutely. I use an online photo editing type thing. It's called PicMonkey. So I use PicMonkey. There's a free version and then there's a paid version. I have the paid version because I use it for everything. I use it for my video thumbnails. I use it to edit some of my listings. So I use that site. That's pretty much it. I mean, sometimes I'll go to LunaPic to help knock out backgrounds if I need to, but I can do it on PicMonkey as well. So
okay, so PicMonkey for those of you watching. And do they do custom? This is for me. They do custom colors and things on that, or is it just like a pick list? I mean, what is the feel for it? I mean, are you typing in color codes, or are you just picking off?
Drag and drop.
Drag and drop. I love to hear
text.
Yeah.
Type text. I mean, the image, because a lot of my shirts are text based, so it's pretty easy because I can just go in and play with the text. And there's an app I like to use called WordSwag. That's another one that's kind of fun to use to make, and it's an app on the phone. But yeah, it's really, really easy to use PicMonkey. So
that's awesome. Very cool. I'm actually going to bring up a question that I've been getting a lot lately. Well, two of them actually. I just want to hear your take on it. So I've been hearing a lot about that the markets on eBay and the other places because of YouTubers are going, the money in them is decreasing greatly because we're putting out too much content, or that people are doing too many tutorials. What is your opinion on that? And I know it's probably kind of a touchier topic, but I like to ask those questions and see what people think.
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's all Nick Hill's fault. He's a favorite seller, and his joke is like, it's all my fault because I made a video about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, and the same deal. Like, I went to the Goodwill to buy a jewelry jar, and the price was up $10. I was like, damn it, who's making videos about jewelry jars? No, I mean, the price is going to fluctuate on everything. It happens. I mean, it's a cycle that you see, and it's easy to point the finger and say it's your fault because this isn't selling so well anymore. Well, it's going to fluctuate with everything. Maybe they don't want to buy it because you got crappy stuff. Maybe they don't want to buy it because your listing is not good. Maybe they don't want to buy it because there's too many out there. But just give it time and things settle down and start over again. Like forever, I don't know if I have one handy. I don't. They're like those accordion wall hooks, like peg. You know what I'm talking about? And I mean, forever I was picking those up super cheap, $1 or $2, and they were selling $20-25 a piece. And then all of a sudden they just went dry, because I was doing videos about it and everybody was picking them up. And then they would say, well, they're not selling. Well, they stopped selling for a little while, but now they're selling again, So there's just fluctuations in the market. It's just life.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, I have like 3 pretty firm thoughts on this, and none of them are really original. They're all from just listening to other people and just thinking about things that I've learned. And I mean, one, economics has not changed since the foundation of it was created. The thought of it was created, right? It's like there's always supply and there's always demand, and it dictates the price. Period. End of story. That's never going to change. YouTube videos don't change that. It might flood it. The supply might get flooded for something, but that's only going to decrease it for something else because they're not focusing their attention there. So something else will be, and you have to adjust.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel totally on that. And then the other thing is like, we live in the internet age. Like, if anyone wants to learn how to do anything, they're going to go to Google, they're going to type it in, they're going to find something. So I would just rather provide helpful content so someone can get started if they want to start earning extra money or build it. Like, to me, it's like, it's more of just, why not share it? I learn just as much from people watching half the time. They're giving me suggestions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like a two-way street, and I don't know. I just feel like there's enough information out there that you're not going to drive down or ruin any market. And then the third is just like, be able to adjust, like be able to learn new things, and styles change. Like, that's the other thing is styles change. Styles of houses change, wood colors, pant styles. I mean, I think about bell bottoms were like totally in when I was, like flared jeans were the thing for girls when I was in high school. And now it's straight leg and skinny and different rises and this and that. And it's like that evolves, and so things aren't in as big a demand anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and then there's like resurgence of the 80s. Well, last month it was like, well, now it's the 90s. I think they're like, grunge is coming back or something like that. It's just, it's all. Yeah. Just. It's
and the other thing I would say is that people complain about that, but there wouldn't be a vintage market if styles didn't change. So people appreciate the vintage market and want that there. Well, the vintage market's there because things rotate in style and become older, and then they become desired, and it's just the same cycle that you deal with, and that's just, I don't know. I've been getting that question a little more, and I haven't really addressed it on my channel, and so I thought it was a good opportunity to get your take on it.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Let's see if there's any more. A lot of comments, no questions. Anyone have any questions before we wrap up here shortly? Let's see what else. I feel like I miss them because I'm not paying attention to it. All right. Well, do you have any questions for me, Margaret, or anything like that, or for anything you want to just say, blanket statement to people watching?
Well, are you going to try this print-on-demand stuff?
Yeah, you had to put the pressure right back on me. Huh? So yes, I have a goal, and where I'm at right now is I'm not sure if I want to go the merch route or if I want to go like a Shopify, my own store. Like, part of me wants to kind of see what it takes to develop those relationships and develop those systems. And I mean, there are a lot of bigger print-on-demand things, but I'm also even toying around the idea of trying to find like a local, more, it might be not as cost effective, but to control it even more. I don't know. I have this thing where like I've watched Amazon evolve, and they control so much that it also makes me nervous as a newer person come in. Like, if I had been in from the ground floor like you guys, I think I would be super pumped about it. And I say ground floor, but you've been there doing it for a while.
Right.
And so I'm nervous jumping in that they're going to start restricting newer people coming in, and kind of you're grandfathered in. That kind of is a trend sometimes. So, but I'm going to make the plunge. I'm going to keep watching you guys' content because I've enjoyed it. Like, every day I'm at work, like that's a joke, but when I'm at work, I watch YouTube videos all day. That's what I do. So I put in my headphones and listen to content. So, I see some questions here. Antonio said, "Do you remember the first thing you flipped? What's the first thing you sold?"
So hear an echo. Is that me? Okay, so I picked up at the garage sale. They were these. I'd never even seen them before, but I was like, "What is this?" They were these little Estee Lauder. They look like teeny little compacts or boxes, but inside them was like perfume, like solid perfume. And I was like, these are different. Okay, $1/4 a piece. I took them home, and they were worth like $30 or $40 a piece. So that was the first thing that I was like, what? Okay, let's do this. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice story to have for your first thing to flip.
Yeah, I think that's what gets you, that hook gets in you. Yeah.
I think my first thing was I can't remember which sold first. It was a regular Nintendo, and I picked up a Super Nintendo, like the same garage sale. I think the Super Nintendo sold first, but that was like what got me into reselling. And then I realized that everybody in the world was after those, and so it was a super competitive. You had to be the first one to garage sales and everything. So that was what transitioned me to clothing. Same Antonio asking also, what is your most profitable flip?
My most profitable flip. Oh, and I forget. So I got these cufflinks at this local charity shop for $1. They ended up being 18 karat gold and really heavy. And so I went back and forth because they were British. I think that's how they kind of got through. They had the British hallmarks on them, and I think maybe the charity shop didn't know what that was, or they just didn't pay attention. So I took those. I went back and forth about listing them because with the gold content, they would have been about $500, you know, for me to sell at least. So I ended up taking them to the gold. There's a gold man that he doesn't just melt the gold down, but he has like a jewelry thing too.
Yeah.
And I just flipped them with him for $400. So
Holy crap.
yeah,
That's a good flip. Wow.
yeah. So it was great.
Yeah,
Go on.
that's awesome. No, I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the best flip I had was a Hickey Freeman. It was a Laurel piano suit, and I got like 340 for it. It was a really big size. It was early on, and I don't think I've got anywhere close to that since then. I mean, I think probably 150, 160 for suits here and there.
Yeah.
I kind of stay in the middle of the road. I don't have a lot of exciting stories, unfortunately, for that.
No, I mean that's why I think that's why I love men's accessories so much. Because like I sold a set. Well, they came back, but I know they'll sell again. You know, it was a tuxedo set. You know, that I sold for $100. So it's just like you buy the cufflinks, tight tacks, whatever, and they're worth money. So yeah.
And he's also asking, did you get the NES class? No, I didn't. I didn't get the NES Classic. I was a big video gamer growing up, and now I'm not. I wish I had more time to play them, but I think Shannon would kill me if I spent any more time on any other things besides stuff I already do. So awesome. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. It's been about 50 minutes. I think it's been an awesome show. I know I really enjoyed it. I hope that you have, Margaret.
I have, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for those of you watching, I have her YouTube channel is in the description. Please go check it out. And you're watching, it's awesome content. If you're thinking about reselling, if you currently resell, I've had a lot of perspective from watching it. So definitely appreciate you coming over. This has been a fantastic show for me. So thank you so much, Margaret.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And enjoy your night. And we'll be chatting later, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Take care.